Hi there. So this is a podcast with a student from Maltby Academy. Here I'm with
MLA.
um. So when did you first know about the Holocaust?
It got taught to us in year 5 because we learnt about World War Two, but it wasn't taught with extensive details until later into GCSEs.
Do you think students should learn more about it, or even like go to the trip to
I think
Auschwitz or Berlin?
it's beneficial because there's no point in not teaching about such a significant part of history, especially one that still affects people today. And the whole point of learning about history is so like you can prevent it from happening again in the future.
Yeah. What's like a story that you heard about, or like a event that you found so fascinated about, even like if it was like you thought it was morally wrong, or maybe like the fact that you wouldn't believe that something like that would happen to someone.
Well, when we went to Sachsenhausen for the Berlin trip, we went to a concentration camp there, and one of the stories was there was a doctor's office, and they used to line them up against the height board, and there was a hole in the back of it, and they used to shoot them in the back of the neck to kill them, but they used to play like music over it to not show other soldiers and other people that they were killing them, and I just don't understand how someone could actually think about doing that.
Yeah. But like that is really interesting. I didn't even know this. So wow. Yeah, and when I went to Auschwitz, I think the biggest part was for me with like the going into the room with the hair, where like it just gave like a loss of identity because all these people being killed and then just having their hair chopped to make like clothes, or like blankets. It just so yeah. What do you think if like I said the loss of identity? How would you describe that?
I think the fact that they were just numbered and they didn't have names, and a lot of the people that were in them, there's no photos of them, and there's no way to remember them for if they did have generations passed down and they still live on today.
Yeah. So we're in York right now. Tell me about that tower that you explained because I feel like this should be known.
There's there's a tower, I can't remember what it's called, in York, and in medieval times, so before the Holocaust, people used to throw Jews off it because they were different, and it really shows like the systemic racism that was been present since before
Yeah,
World War Two.
like anti-Semitism
Yeah,
being here like for a while, and I was talking to Mr. Willens about it, and we like mentioned over the thing and like hovered about it, and yeah, in around the whole of Europe, there's been such a like big thing about Semitism being like such a big topic, but no one really like looking into it because they just saw it as like necessary to extract Jews, which obviously is really wrong, and we can see that now, especially with, like the Holocaust. And talking about modern day, do you like, know any events that are happening that you could like link it towards the Holocaust?
I don't know of any in particular, but I know that it's still a big thing now, and that it still happens today in different countries.
Yeah. So thank you so much. You've been such a good help, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Hello. So here I'm with
Ruben Tomlinson.
who's a student at Maltby Academy. Would you like to tell me about your story when you went to Berlin?
So during the end of the war, um, the Nazis just wanted to eliminate as many Jews and political opposition and other groups they did not like as quick as possible. And so one of the most inhumane ways they did it were undress them all, line them up, and execute them by firing squad, masses at a time, and dump them in mass graves or burn bodies as in masses.
Did you, as a person, did you feel like you understood that story, or did you feel like that was just a number and not like identity?
It was more of a number and just a sheer power of Nazism and the power of how horrible the Holocaust was.
Mm. Do you know any like personal stories of any Holocaust victim survivors?
Well, there's the famous one, Anne Frank. Schindler's, Mr. Schindler, that's quite an interesting one as well. Was a general, German general, and worked in a factory, operating the factory, and the Jews were used as slaves there. He helped them escape, saved countless lives.
Yeah. When did you first start learning about Holocaust?
In school around year 6, but obviously heard of it before. Year 6 is when they teach World War II, and not Holocaust in full detail, and then obviously later in GCSE history.
Yeah. So we know that there's a controversial topic about Israel and Palestine. How would you describe that as like a repetition towards what history and how history
Well,
is like repeating itself?
it's a genocide. It's a killing for the sake of killing, just like the Holocaust was. Just two groups disagreeing with each other, or one group disagreeing with another, and deciding that the best way to resolve that is by mass killing and inhumane living.
Yeah, and we could like look at that and say like how it's like a lot of people aren't actually looking at history and how we can learn from it, and that could be talked about the different concentration camps. We could even see like before the Holocaust itself, there was like the Siberian exile where people were like exploited from any like political leaders, any like religious leaders. They were exiled to Siberia. So how come? What do you think we would need to do in like a student way perspective? Do you think children need to learn more about it? Do you think schools should take them to the trips to see like Auschwitz or Berlin?
The best way to prevent stuff like that is to teach everyone about it and give real life examples. I think personal stories are probably the best example, because numbers, at the end of the day, that they don't give a personal feeling. You can feel sorry for a group of people, but once you hear someone's individual story, you can put yourself in the shoes more, and you can understand how horrible it must have been to be
Yeah.
part of that.
And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people have to realize, that we can learn a lot about the numbers. Like 6 million Jews being killed is tremendous. It's like it should never happen. Even like a war, no one should die. But unfortunately, that was the case here, and a lot of the times people just view that, oh, it's a number, we shouldn't do it again. But if we let personal stories, like individuals have like survivors come into schools, I think that's a great way to like help. So yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure
welcome.
talking to you.